too can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser. Guys, welcome. Happy Monday evening. Happy Memorial Day to all of you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed your day off from work, but it's back to the grind tomorrow. And to help us cap off this beautiful Memorial Day weekend, well, it's going to be none other than, the real Rick Glaser. Rick, how are you this evening, sir?
Good, Joe. Fire away. Let's get right into it today.
All right, my friend. Here we go then. Come on, Teddy.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
Well, we've got a lot of them, and this first one, it comes to you at 7:11 a.m. May 21st, and it says this: lots of rumors and speculation in regards to PBC floating around, but in truth, for the damage that Al Haymon and PBC has done to the business and the sport of boxing, Haymon and PBC unequivocally deserve to go out of business, OOB. Whether or not His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh ultimately attempts to save PBC, it's really going to be just temporary because they don't have a business plan that's profitable. They have aging fighters, don't have the executives in place to succeed. Those executives don't have empathy for boxing, and the damage has been done. Fresh money will not clean up the problems. It just procrastinates the eventual doors closing. Best regards to all involved in attempting to save a dead dinosaur. Ouch, Rick. But look, to PBC's defense, right now, other than Top Rank, does anyone have a profitable plan in this era of boxing? I should
Golden Boy's doing very well.
You know what? I will say that. Yes, they are killing it this year, brother.
Frank Warren's doing very well. I can't speak for Eddie Hearn because I don't really know. I don't pay that much attention to him, but I guess he's doing all right, and I assume he is. And I know Frank Warren's doing well. So I mean, Mr. Honda in Japan is doing well. The promoters are doing well as a general rule.
Well, look, I'm not talking about just the promoters. I'm talking about Top Rank because the reason why I mention Top Rank, they're shooting for par, right? So they actually make a profit. They don't make hundreds of millions of dollars every year, but at least they don't lose money. And at least ESPN doesn't lose money. Golden Boy, that's the one where, oh my gosh, they're killing it this year with Ryan Garcia, with Jaime Munguia, and hopefully Virgil Ortiz has which everyone thinks he's going to have a huge breakout performance on August 3rd. They're killing it.
Like, yeah, and don't forget, Zoro Ramirez won the WBA cruiserweight title. So he's in play now, and they got that little 105-pound champ who's really doing well. Oscar Collazo, he's there. Everybody's excited about him, even though he only weighs 105 pounds. He's a very good fighter, and they're looking to unify some of those titles at 105.
Indeed, they're killing it this year, and they definitely have the highest ceiling because they potentially have 3 budding superstars on their hands with Munguia, Virgil Ortiz, and definitely Ryan Garcia.
Well, you also forgot about Williams. You forgot about Williams Zepeda.
Williams Zepeda, yes, sir. Ooh, he is just one performance away from becoming a big star.
Right.
Yeah, the future looks bright for Golden Boy. The reason why I don't say Warren or Eddie Hearn is because, and definitely not PBC, because are they really having a great year if their platform loses money consistently because of their efforts?
No, their platform's not losing money. No.
You're right,
Frank Warren,
Turki Al-Sheikh is losing money. Gee, you're right.
Well,
we'll get to him in a second, my friend. Yeah. But let's go back to PBC. Now, in your mind, what is the likelihood of money in that platform.
I think it was stronger when that was written, but since then it's quelled down quite a bit. I don't think he's going to be investing money in a dead horse.
You know what? I don't think so either. I don't think so either. And so this leads us, oh boy, to our next Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Oh boy. Oh, where is it? I just had it, sir. Hold on. I'm looking it up. It was right here in front of me. No, it wasn't the one about Diddy.
Hello? Joe? Hello? Joe? Hello?
Sorry about that, Rick. My goodness. Holy cow. What a great night for this to be happening. My apologies. Let's just bypass that one. That one was terrible. Well, I'm gonna find it though. I'm gonna find it. Here it is. Hold on. Oh, here it is, brother. May 22nd. Oh, geez. This is a big problem that you just put a spotlight on. This is really bad, Rick. At 5:14 a.m., May 22nd, you stated this per an article on boxingscene.com. I promise I was not one of the 20 million that illegally stole the Usyk Fury pay-per-view, and I'm proud to say I paid for it. A shame. You give the people what they want, and they're still stealing it. 120 million in lost revenue because of it. Hashtag boxing. Rick, this is a huge problem, sir.
Yeah, it is. I'm not saying all of those 20 million would have bought it, but if they weren't able to steal it, but I mean, potentially it's 120 million of revenue. So self-explanatory. It's terrible. What are you going to say? I mean, I don't know what to do about it. Maybe they should go back to closed circuit.
You know what, brother? That would take actually advertising. Once again, it's like it's become such a niche pastime in the American market. Like if they have closed circuit and they still offer pay-per-views in movie theaters, at least the ones on PPC. But that's a very small percentage. Most people don't want to have that experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't know what they're going to do. They got to do something.
In my opinion, what we're going to start doing in San Antonio for each pay-per-view, we're going to be slating. We're going to be slating actually small cards, right, in small venues, but give people that closed circuit experience, trying to change the culture, giving them that big arena feel. And it's the next best thing to watching the fight in person. Because I'm sorry, it's something has to be done to try and change the culture. This is not good, Rick.
Well, you go that LDBC YouTube community there. Those people, they just they say they're supporting the fighters, and they brag about stealing the pay-per-view, every one of them.
Oh my gosh, it's travesty.
Yep.
It's like, and you're absolutely right. You give them what they want and they still steal it anyway. And it's always, you can always tell. And I just interviewed, and guys, if you didn't catch it, please go check it out after the show. But I just interviewed junior middleweight contender Andreas Katsarakis from Greece. And he's a sharp guy. And he said, you can always tell who the ones who are stealing it are the ones who are complaining the most. The ones who are complaining that they don't get the fights that they want, they're the ones who are stealing it.
Yep.
And he's absolutely right on the money, in my opinion, Rick. Once again, the software, the technology that they use to track this is Museo. Because I know I'm a musician. It's the same technology that YouTube uses to track music if you're downloading it or using it illegally without copyright, without permission. That's the technology that they use. So if you can track it, you can account for it, and you can use those numbers to gain sponsorship. In my opinion, that's the only solution. Make it to where it's easy, accessible. You have to go to goldenboy.com or DAZN, right? And you just you solicit sponsorship based on those 20 million eyeballs. What choice do we have, Rick? Because this is a huge problem.
Yeah, I know. Big.
Oh boy. So you're at your wit's end on this.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think fans understand what they're doing, or maybe they do.
They're preventing a lot of fights from happening. That's what they're doing.
Yep. I remember one of the first times I spoke to you, Rick. It was several years ago, maybe even 4 years ago, when I called you one time and you said, well, here's the dilemma, Joseph. You said, these guys, it's the only fan base in existence of any major pastime that they've been expected to foot the bill for every major event. And so now they have the ability to steal it and see it for free. They're going to do it with the mindset that boxing owes them. That stuck with me. You told me that almost half a decade ago.
Yep.
And I'm like, you know what? He's right. So is that the reason why promoters and networks are now trying to put together these circus events? And is that why we're seeing Tyson versus Paul?
I believe so, and I believe it's another reason why Ryan Garcia sells so well is because his people don't know how to steal it, because they're not boxing fans, they're Ryan Garcia fans. And they don't watch every event. They only watch when he fights. So I think that they don't know how to steal it, and I think that's one of the reasons why he does such big numbers.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you're right on the money, because when you look at Canelo Alvarez's numbers, oh, we're going to get to that. Let's just move on to that one then. Because I tell you what, we have 2 hours worth of juicy tweets from Rick Glaser. Here it is. And it's May 22nd. You stated this. Here's what many have been waiting for. The Canelo Munguia pay-per-view did slightly over 550,000 pay-per-view purchases. #boxing. Oh boy. Is that why Al Heyman is hunting high and low for a new sponsor or benefactor?
Why he's hunting for fresh money? Yeah, it bombed. Didn't do, didn't make any money. It lost money.
Oh, geez. Yeah, this is a problem if you're a PBC fan. And Rick, you also stated this. I'm going to go ahead and combine these because they're both combined, right? Here, let me pull this up real quick. I think it's after the Marvin Hagler one. You stated that you have a very reliable source that states, maybe I passed it up already, that states that Frank Martin versus Tank Davis with David Benavidez versus Alexander Gvozdyk could very well be the final event that PBC stages for good.
Right. What that means is very well could be is if they don't make any money, they're in the shit house.
Look, if they didn't make any money for the Canelo event, what is the probability of them making money for Tank Davis versus someone who couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night like Frank Martin?
Not good.
Not good. Look, I like the matchup. I think it's an excellent matchup. But come on, Frank Martin just will not sell. You'd think he would have actually learned this from Floyd Mayweather pay-per-views, right? Because you need an attractive B-side, one that's going to appeal to the large Hispanic demographic in America. So why did they choose Frank Martin, Rick?
But he's a PBC fighter, probably owed him a fight. Who knows? I don't know why they do the things that they do.
Guys, if you have any questions for Big Rick Glaser, let them fly now. I don't see any in my comments. I think maybe my it's just not loading. But I've got a question from my brother Alberto. Welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting Big Rick on this day. He says, can you ask Rick why Devin Haney is making accusations on social media that Oscar is withholding his purse from the Garcia fight? I know Oscar is a class act and would never do such a thing.
He's referring to the pay-per-view money, and that takes a long time to get. It doesn't come overnight. You get your guaranteed purse, and any percentage or due, you get in you know, when it comes in from the final statement comes in from the distributor, and they're not to that point yet.
That's right, guys. Now, once again, there was a reason why. Can you explain this? Why the cable and satellite distributors back in the day would take as high as 50% off the top? And that's the reason why it's so slow coming, because not only are they responsible for delivering the package, but they're responsible for allocating all the funds. We're at their mercy, at least we used to be, before everything was direct streaming.
It's no different. It's no different now, except the percentage is less now with streaming.
Yep. And so that's why it takes so long, guys. Rick is absolutely right about this, guys. Rick is absolutely right. So Devin Haney just needs to settle down, take your ass whooping like a man, and look, be patient. Be patient on the New York State Athletic Commission as well. Rick, let's just go right to that. What is going on with Bill Haney putting forth this slanderous bullshit? Right now, once again, let's wait for due process to play out. Let's wait for their investigation to actually play out. Because, look, from what I've been hearing, there's a very good possibility that Ryan could get off with nothing if this proves to be supplement contamination. Rick, have you heard the same thing?
I've heard it from various sources, but they're going to do something. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to do something. But they're not going to change it into a disqualification win for Haney. That's ridiculous. You got to win a fight in the ring.
Well, this is what Ryan Garcia, and I want to get your thoughts on this. This is what Ryan Garcia told Mike Coppinger from ESPN. He said, quote, I don't know where this came from. He said, honestly, bro, I don't. I was taking ashwagandha root, D3, omega-3, just normal shit. I don't know what the F Osterine is. I have seriously no idea. I wish I would tell everybody the truth. My whole thing is I'd tell the truth, then try to fabricate it with a lie, because lies don't stand. So if I really did take it, I'd be like, honestly, I was going through a weird situation. I wasn't really that confident. I chose to take it. I'm sorry. And that's it. But I didn't. I hate cheating. All I can say is legal team helped me figure this out. Your thoughts on this, because his legal team is doubling down on this, saying that they already collected a hair sample as well as toenail clippings, and they've had it analyzed and it's come back negative. Now they're in the process of analyzing the supplements that he submitted for exemption with the New York State Athletic Commission as well as VEDA. And if they come back that they were actually tampered with or contaminated with Osterine, guess what? Not good for Haney fans. He's getting off.
We'll
Rick,
see what happens. It's
what
just
is?
it's so convoluted. It's just an area of boxing I'm not an expert in. Because remember, I don't handle fighters.
Yep.
I broker deals, so I'm no expert in the area in this genre. But I will tell you that there's a lot of all kind of stuff said, and social media is not helping the situation at all.
No, it's not, and especially with the infomercials that Bill Haney's putting out. Did you see the grotesque one with his kids?
No.
Well, good for you, brother, because it's pretty sickening. And then he's also calling out Floyd Mayweather, saying he's the middleman for the drugs, for the steroids. This has to stop. And once again, Bill Haney's no dummy. This is all damage control. And so what's going to happen then? What's going to be the backlash? Are we going to see another Glovegate type reaction from the LDBC, brother?
I don't know. The LDBC is not a Haney organization. They're not really big fans of Haney. They're mostly fans of fighters associated with PBC. So he's not. So
well, we'll see what happens, guys. Alberto says, Rick, let's get a coffee in your system. Respectfully, we want the inside of a great boxing mind like Rick's. Hey, man, what am I, chopped liver, Alberto? Yeah.
What did I say? What did I say?
Alberto says, Rick, let's get a coffee in your system. Respectfully, we want the inside of a great boxing mind like Rick's. And I said, well, what am I, chopped liver? Chingao.
No, pastrami.
No, Chingao, dude. No, gabagool.
Gabagool.
Oh, there it is. Daddy Drew, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for supporting Rick on this day. He says, will the Tyson versus Paul fight be canceled?
It should never have been planned.
Oh, boy. Guys, did you hear the latest? And let's fast forward then to the latest tweet from Rick Glaser, all right? Oh, boy, here we go. Here it is. You just tweeted this about 8 hours ago. Mike Tyson shouldn't be fighting any longer against anyone, including Jake Paul. What more proof does the Texas Boxing Commission actually need? Jake Paul, this is a travesty. You should be embarrassed. Please retweet this. Thank you. And this is a reaction to the ulcer. He's got an ulcer, and he was approved to fight at age 57. Rick.
The whole thing's crazy. The guy will be 58 years old in June next month. Come on. I mean, the game's over. What the fuck are they doing?
Yeah,
using his name. I mean, come on. The fucking thing shouldn't be anywhere near a boxing ring except to wave to get in the ring and wave to the crowd and get out.
You know what, brother?
It's a young man's game.
You know, once again, this is sickening, Rick, because you stated this on last Monday's show at Halftime Pizza. Shout out to Halftime Pizza, guys, my favorite pizza place, an official sponsor of Real Talk with Rick Glaser. You said this. You know what? All they're talking about, the mainstream media, all mainstream media outlets in the American market, sports market, all they're talking about is Tyson versus Paul, and not a damn word on the brilliant instant classic we saw about a week and a half ago between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. Are we living in bizarro world, brother?
Yeah, that's what it is.
What the hell can we do about it, my friend?
I don't know. Give these journalists, reporters, and writers a brain.
You know what? Yeah, I agree. So much for new media, right? They can kiss my ass. Because I'm sorry, guys. This is a problem. I think Turkey Al-Sheikh understands this. This is why he's staging this American card. His first fight in America, August 3rd. And I think this is why he was initially contemplating working with PBC. Because you cannot build attractions. You cannot get local media involved if the fight is in Saudi Arabia. They're not willing to fly 9 hours, right? 9 time zones to go cover a fight. That's a problem.
9 hours. You're all wet. It's 15 to Dubai from New York City.
I'm sorry, 9 time zones. My apologies, brother.
Yeah. I was going to say
apologies.
9 hours. No.
No, 9 time zones. My apologies. But that's a problem. That's a big problem. That's one of the reasons why Canelo's event with Gorilla didn't do well, because most mainstream media outlets in America weren't willing to go fly and go stay in the high altitude of Mexico, the mountains where they actually staged the fight in Guadalajara. This is a problem.
Yep.
So is that why Turkey is actually staging this fight in LA? Is that the reason?
I don't know. I think he's looking to conquer more markets, more marketplaces, and make a stronger statement. And I think that's the way to do it.
Now, a lot of people are alarmed, including myself, losing. It's projected that he just lost over $100 million of Saudi money in that investment in the battle for undisputed.
Yeah, it'd be like me buying new lunch, bro, to them.
Yeah. Can you please explain that in greater length for our listeners, because I'm sure some of them are worried as well.
This is not a company that's in boxing. This is not an individual's investment in boxing. This is a country, a whole country. They'll just print more money. They don't care.
Oh boy, I'll tell you what. We better hope that the entire world doesn't start investing in electric cars. Chinga, sorry, that was a bad joke. Here we go. Alberto also says, Rick, I think Zhang retires Wilder this Saturday. What say you, sir?
Anything can happen in that fight. It's two old guys, 2 shot guys, and on the back 9 for sure. Both guys, not completely shot, but on the back 9, and anything can happen in those kind of fights. Whoever hits who first, whoever hits it. Maybe they last a few punches. Somebody hits somebody on the chin, goes down, gets up, gets knocked down. You just don't know. It's like rock and sock and robots. Neither guy gets out of the way real well of a punch, so that ain't a good sign.
Yeah. So if you had to pick, now I know this is the heavyweight division, the theater of the unexpected, the real one, right? Where anything can and often does happen. That's why we love the heavyweight division, boxing's long-standing glamour division. What do you think happens if you had to pull out your crystal ball, Rick?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's one of those fights. I really don't know.
I'll tell you what, that's why we watch, guys. And that's why all of you guys should purchase it. Chingao. I thought this was going to be televised for free on ESPN in the States, but that was only supposed to be Petervia versus Beeville, right?
Correct.
But now we have to purchase it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's what we have to do, guys. Rodney Evans, welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting Rick. He says, Rick, how on earth can Errol Spence jump the line after getting his ass handed to him from east to west? I don't understand, Rick. Is the Crawford fight a unification?
The Crawford fight with what do you call it, is for the WBA junior weight title. It is an official WBO interim title fight and an official WBC eliminator. So basically speaking is when they refuse to fight Crawford next, he'll probably end up to be BO champ. He'll be the mandatory. He'll probably go fight Canelo. I don't think it matters.
I think you're absolutely right, my friend. I don't think it matters. But I tell you what, there is a ton of talent right now in the junior middleweight division. It is really heating up. The badasses are moving up. Virgil Ortiz, Terence Crawford. Well, you could say Errol Spence. And look, the matchups are getting
that's
made,
a wore out ass. That's not a badass. That's a wore out ass.
Well done. I've got to go do something real quick, Rick, but please answer this question from my brother, Minnie Mill. It's a long time no see, my friend. Thank you for supporting Rick. He says, hi, Rick. Exactly. What do you do as a business for Golden Boy, etc.?
Okay. Actually, I don't work for Golden Boy. I do business with them. I broker deals where I bring them fighters that they promote. Do a service for the fighter and bring them to Golden Boy. And I make fights help make fights for them for them and their staff. You know, for the executives there. And those are the two main things that I do.
And there it is, guys. There it is. Bruce, Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Guys, if you haven't already, please go support our brother Bruce and subscribe. A great boxing guy right there, great boxing aficionado and historian. Always has a lot of great guests. Thank you, Bruce, for supporting Rick on this day. Alberto, my apology, Joe. Definitely appreciate your boxing insight. That goes without saying. Thank you, my friend. That's very kind of you. Danny Drew, he says, Alberto Wilder going to need some boxygen to beat Zhang. Look, guys, just enjoy the fights. Now, Rick, is it a bad idea for Zhilei Zhang to come into this fight thinking that Wilder is shot to bits?
I don't know. I don't know the fighter in particular. In other words, I've never talked to the guy, so I don't know his state of mind. A typical fighter, it's not good because they get overconfident. Then they get hit with one shot and can put them away because they're not. They figure they're going to win, and all of a sudden that big punch from a big puncher comes in and they're out. So they see black light. So yeah, it's not a good thing. So, but I don't know his state of mind because I don't really know him.
Well, I tell you what, Zhilei Zhang, the only big question mark is his conditioning. This guy seems to be a 5 or 6 round fighter. That's it. But guys, in those 5 or 6 rounds, he very well may be the most dangerous heavyweight on the planet. Can Deontay Wilder, and once again, you could say the same thing possibly for Deontay Wilder, if he proves to be more assertive, like the old Bronze Bomber. Guys, we could be in for a real treat in this Saturday's main event. And there it is. Here, let me ask you something, Rick. And this was supposed to be fact or fiction. You don't want to do this, but I'm going to ask you just this one. Okay? Well, let me just ask you right now. I think it was a tweet that you put out, but I'm just going to go ahead and ask you. Why is everyone so butthurt about the IBF? Well, let me just read it. I just found it. You stated this on May 24th at 4:12 a.m., burning the midnight oil. You stated this: the IBF will be stripping undisputed champ Usyk of the IBF version of the heavyweight title any day now, and shortly, undisputed champ Canelo of the IBF version of the super middleweight title. Both potential strippings run afoul of Turki Al-Sheikh's huge plans for Usyk and for Canelo. This is not a good sign for the IBF in these present times in boxing. I know the argument from the IBF is that the IBF is simply following their rules, but common sense must prevail. Those rules need to be changed so they are more consistent with public sentiment and actually reflect the results of the fights and who actually won or lost in the ring. Those are the real champs, not just because the IBF stripes and legitimate world champ. Stripes are legitimate world champ. Oh, okay, very good. That makes sense then. Strips a legitimate world champ and hands the belt over to what most view as an inferior fighter and mostly an unknown fighter. Common sense must prevail, and it clearly isn't prevailing for the IBF. Rick, this is one where I actually have to disagree with you. Now, obviously, before I say something, well, yeah, you already said enough there. So let me ask you this, though. If Alexander Usyk doesn't have any intention of defending the IBF title against his mandatory challenger, or the winner of, well, let's just say Filip Hrgovic, if he is victorious on Saturday, which most favor him to be, I think he's a 3-1 betting favorite. If he does, this is a guy who was in the co-main event and earned this distinction back in August of 2022. He's been waiting, and he's been stepping to the side to allow undisputed to happen. So when is he going to get his opportunity then, Rick?
They should do he should fight, what's his name? Okay,
Daniel Dubois.
He should fight what's his name, and the Daniel Dubois, and the winner of that fight waits for the winner of Fury and Usyk, and whoever wins fights him. If not, they declare him then the full champion. But they should allow him to do the rematch. That's what everybody wants to see, is the rematch. It was a great fight the first time. It was close. The difference was the knockdown, and people want to see that. Nobody's asking for Hrgovic or Dubois to fight Usyk or Fury. Nobody's asking for that fight.
Understood. But let me ask you something. The absence of the IBF title, does it really diminish the rematch?
It's not for undisputed, and they're going. It's about legacy, so it may not diminish it from people buying the fight, but it will diminish it for the fighters themselves, and it diminishes the IBF's reputation, erodes their reputation that they're doing stuff like this. And with Canelo, what they need to do is they need to do what they call double eliminators, an eliminator and a final eliminator. And the mandatory for an undisputed champion should be once every 4 fights or once every 2 years, whichever comes first.
I'll tell you what, that's interesting. That's interesting. I can see validity in both arguments. In my opinion, though, I think Mike Tyson had the right idea several years ago. When you get undisputed, keep the ring, keep the lineal title, the one that means the most. You're still the guy. You're still the man to beat. You're the lineal champion, but relinquish all the other titles and create those opportunities for these hardworking fighters. Give them those opportunities to make big coin. In my opinion, that's the way it should be done. But that's just my opinion, guys. Once again, I see Rick's point of view, and he's right. If that's what the fans want, the real bosses of boxing, you know what? It's very hard to argue with that, Rick. Very good point. And there it is. And there it is. Let's move on to another tweet, guys. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Oh, geez. Yeah, we already went over Ryan Garcia. Let's see. We already did. We just did. Oh, let's read this one. This one's beautiful. Most say, and this was on at 4:57 p.m., May 24th. You said this. Most say the late marvelous Marvin Hagler was the ultimate great professional fighter, always in top shape, first to the gym, last to leave, no scandals, lefty and righty, aggressive, crowd-pleasing style, and ducked no one. And history continues to say that today, 37 years after retirement, Terence Crawford has all those same identical great things in common, but is not talked about in the same vein. And Terence Crawford should be talked about in the same glowing vein as the marvelous one. Terence Crawford has earned that respect. Hashtag boxing. Rick, do you think time will actually, the more like after he retires, do you think history will look upon as favorably?
I don't know. Too many people say that Crawford's got a weak resume. So let me give the counter argument to that. First of all, when you're a world champion, you got a mandatory every year that's due. He fought the #1 contender every single time. He beat some of the guys that he beat that were not #1 contenders were gold medalists in the amateurs. That was Felix Diaz. He fought everybody, okay, that would fight him. Okay, just because Mikey Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, Danny Garcia, and Keith Thurman wouldn't fight him, you can't. That's a testament to his greatness and how dangerous he is. It's not just who you beat; it's who refused to fight you.
Yeah, you know what, Rick? That is a very good point. Also, guys, keep in mind, remember this, and this is something in our manual. It used to drive him nuts. He said, you know what? Resumes, records, it's all contingent on opportunities given to you by your promoter. That's a fighter can't help that. So, guys, once again, if he's an avoided fighter and if he's not a huge ticket seller, which Terence Crawford wasn't for the great majority of his career, How's he supposed to get those skins on his record if no one's willing to fight him?
Right. If he wasn't such a great fighter, they'd be fighting him.
That's it. That's it, guys. Look at Sean Porter. Look at all the names he has on his resume. There's a reason for that. Because he was beatable. He was good enough to compete with the elite, but he wasn't good enough to beat most of them. Guys, remember that. It was the same thing with Triple G's resume as well. And do you have anything to add to that, Rick? Because that really pisses me off as well, sir.
No, not really.
I'll tell you what, Sly, thank you, my friend. Sly Tendencies, thank you, brother, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Great picks for Rick. Hrgovic versus Triple D. Who wins and why, sir?
Well, I like the fighter with the bigger heart, which is Hrgovic, because we know that Du Bois is short on the ticker department. But in reality, Du Bois could hit him on the chin, and who knows what could happen. It's one of those pick-em fights.
Yeah, you know what? And he has looked improved against. I was actually impressed by his effort against Alexander Usyk last year, and I was impressed in his last fight against Big Baby Jarrell Miller. I think this is a great matchup, and I agree with Rick. Let's go to the next one. Wilder versus Zhang. Who do you like and why? You said this is a pick-em as well, right?
Yeah, it's tough to pick these fighters. Good fights.
And here we go. Fury versus Usyk 2, Rick. Who do you like and why?
I think Fury will make the adjustments in the fight, and I think he'll summon up one last great fight.
I'll tell you what, I think I like it too. Do you think now Fury has greater confidence because of how easy seemingly this fight was in the mid to late rounds?
Not really. I don't think so. That's the case. I just think that he'll make the mental adjustments and the physical adjustments, and he'll have a better feel for himself in the ring by knowledge, not necessarily by confidence. By knowledge of having fought him once before.
Do you think he will choose not to showboat like a dumbass?
Well, I don't know. It's fucking stupid. Fucking stupid.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? This is the best fighter in boxing, and you're acting like a horse's ass in the ring. You're just looking for an ass whooping. So once again, we're moving on. Bivol versus Beterbiev later on. Now, this is twofold. One, does it happen?
Who? Bivol and Beterbiev? Yeah, it happens.
Do we see Beterbiev come back,
yes.
or is this it?
No, he'll come back.
And who wins? Do you still like Beterbiev? I know you picked Beterbiev before,
not with a serious injury like that would need surgery. No. He's falling apart.
You know what, brother? It's almost reminiscent of Vitaly Klitschko and why he retired. I'm not going to say anything else, but guys, just connect the dots. Okay? We love you being on the show, Rick. Yes, we do. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Sly. I appreciate you being here. And thank you for the super chat, my friend. It means a lot to me. B&B, welcome to the show. Joseph is the GOAT. No, but thank you for saying that. My guest, Rick Glaser, he has that distinction today. So Anthony Mazzano, welcome to the show, sir. Welcome from Florida. It says, Rick, do you think the WBC having so many titles causes fans to lose respect for their major titles because the other ones dilute the credibility of the real one?
100%.
Oh, boy, I tell you what. What do we do? What do we do about this? This is a real problem, Rick. Once again, man. And Anthony says this. Thank you, Anthony, for the super chat. God bless you, my friend. This is really nice of you. Thank you, my friend. And by the way, I spoke with Jose Sr. They're actually wrapping up camp in Florida, getting ready for David Benavidez versus Alexander Gvozdyk. We're going to be chatting with Jose Sr. next week. But he says this. Rick, who is your favorite up-and-coming prospect at 130 pounds, 35 and 40?
What was the question?
Who is your favorite up-and-coming prospect at 30, 35, 40, and 68? Let's start with 30, sir.
I don't really have anybody at 30. 35, I would say, it looks like Keyshawn Davis was be number one at 135. 140. I would say the guy Rindolfo Delgado, or the Dominican Blanco. One of the two. One of the two would be the top guy at 140. And what was the other weight? 68.
68, sir.
I don't really like anybody in particular at 68 that's, except the contenders. I don't really see anybody out there that sets the world on fire for me.
Yeah, you think this is why the predominant reason, obviously the money, but you think this is why Canelo is more than likely going to fight Terence Crawford because of lack of options at 68.
Yeah, probably. He's blazed through the division except for Benavides, and he's at 75 now. 126, I like Carrington. I think he's a really good prospect.
Indeed. Shushu Carrington is the goods, guys. Yeah. Who beats Shushu Carrington, Rick?
I don't think anybody right now. I think it looks like the real deal to me. I think he beats them all.
Yep. I agree wholeheartedly. Going to the 5 versus 5. Are there any fights that really, what are your thoughts on Raymond Ford versus Nick Ball? Correct me if I'm wrong, Rick. I think that has the opportunity to steal the show.
I think you're right. I think it's a great fight. I really do. So it's a super good fight. No question about it.
Yep. What about Shiraz versus Ammo Williams?
I like Shiraz. He's better on his feet, got faster hands, and his ring IQ is very high.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? Oh, 6'3" at 160 pounds, Rick. That kid's a stud.
Who?
Shiraz.
Yeah. No, I know.
Oh, geez. Yeah, he looks like he's going to be a future stud, a future star, guys. And it's only a matter of time before he becomes champion. And Anthony, thank you so much, brother. He must have known that I'm getting ready to undergo surgery tomorrow. I think he could probably feel that. I think he's got that sixth sense. Anthony, thank you, my friend, for supporting Rick and supporting
He's got his sixth sense. I only got sixth sense.
Yeah, after YouTube taxes the hell out of us, you're right. We only have sixth sense. Anthony, thank you, my friend. It's very humbling. Thank you, brother. God bless you. He says, Rick, can you explain to me why there's such a negative connotation by even hardcore boxing fans when fighter is flat-footed? Can you explain to me why there's such a negative connotation by even why they're flat-footed?
There is, but a lot of fighters fight better flat-footed than on their toes. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, Rick,
what can you say
about this? And we talked about this before, guys. And once again, how do you get power, Rick? Once again,
you roll from the heel. You roll from the heel to the toe.
That's it. So if you want to combine speed with power, you have to depend on being somewhat flat-footed. Look at Canelo, right? And he does a very good job of sliding in and out of the pocket to where he's always in position and always can get that leverage on his shots. And I think you're right, Tony. I think too much is made about that. Your thoughts on that, Rick? Because, yeah, I think that's a huge misnomer.
I think it is a misnomer, period.
And there it is. W.A.W says this. And once again, Anthony, thank you, brother, for being there for us, man. We really appreciate it, my friend. And W.A.W says this. Henry LeBron is good at 30. Murataya at 35. Hell yes. Gary Antoine Russell at 40. Your thoughts on those three prospects, sir?
Yeah, they're all tops. They're all good, real good. Yes, I agree. I agree.
And
I Henry LeBron is decent. I agree. I think Muay Thai is real good, but I don't think he's as good a prospect as Keyshawn. And Gary Russell Jr. is a great prospect, no question about that.
And there it is. And there it is. Sly also
But
says,
I also wouldn't consider Gary Anton Russell and Muay Thai these
they're
guys
contenders now,
prospects
aren't
for
they?
their contenders. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I didn't mention them. Yes.
Good. That's a very good point. That's a very good point, sir. Let's see. Hold on. Here it is. Rick Mini Meal. Thank you for the question, sir. And thank you for hanging with us the entire program. Rick, how did Salvador Sanchez get so good at such an early age? What contributed to his success? Natural talent, great trainers. What say you, sir?
I sort of studied him years ago, and paid attention to him because I thought he was so great. I just think he was a natural born fighter, and he had excellent trainers too. I think it was a combination that he came across the right trainers for him, and he was the right guy for them, and because he had such natural talent. So I think it was a combination of those two things. He did
Yeah.
things you can't teach. Remember that.
Yes, that's a very good observation. But you know what's funny? You saw guys though, like look at Benitez. That guy, he looked to be a phenom. Was he the youngest world champion ever? Wilfredo
Yeah,
Benitez.
17 years old.
But by the time he was 23, he was a shot fighter.
Yep.
Now, with that said, Salvador Sanchez was special. But then again, Wilfredo Benitez, El Radar. Like when he first burst onto the scene and became champion, you couldn't touch him. You couldn't hit him with a handful of rice. But then what happened? Do you think Salvador Sanchez, had he stayed because of his fight style, did you think that he would have had in the immortal words of Eddie Futch, a short but glorious career?
No, he would have had a long career. So Salvatore Sanchez was great. He was great in range in the pocket. He knew distance and range, and he just had it all. And he was destined to be 26, 30, 35. He was one of those, Chavez type of fighter. Remember, Chavez came along right after him. He died in 82. Chavez came along in 84.
Yes, that's right. That's absolutely right. You know what? And we saved the best for last. And I do need to get your thoughts. And we've been saving this for the very last comment. And it's been brought up by my brother Sly Tendencies. Once again, guys, thank you so much for supporting the channel and supporting Big Rick on this evening. It really means a lot to us, guys, especially right now. And I'll explain at the end of the show after we say goodnight to Rick. I'm going to stay on for a couple minutes just to talk to all of you guys about something very serious. But Sly says, Jack Catterall was robbed 2 years ago. But do people really think those two judges had it right? 117, 111 twice seems insane, Rick.
No,
Will Jack be a champ at 150?
I think Aram's argument was correct in the sense that they were too far apart, but the right guy still won. I had a Catterall 115, 113. Everybody that I talked to that's in the boxing business all thought Catterall won 115, 113. Everybody was consistent in their score that I talked to.
You know what? Yeah, most people say 115, 113 Catterall. I do have some people that have it the other way, though. A lot of people that I respect, and one of them is G Funky, and he knows what he's looking at in the ring. But once again, there were, like in G Funky's opinion, let me see if you agree with this. He said, I didn't have a hard time scoring this fight. He said there weren't all that many swing rounds. That they were decisive wins when you look at it on a round by round basis for each fighter. So why the discrepancy, Rick?
I don't know. Don't know. I didn't see it that way.
But you agree that there weren't that many swing rounds?
No, they were pretty clear to me.
Yeah, yeah. And most people that I talked to had it 115, 113. Now let's go to post fight. What the hell got into Bob Arum, sir?
92 and a half years old, who got into him.
You think it was too many gummies, too many edibles that day?
I don't know what it was.
Because I tell you what, that was borderline WWF Bobby Heenan stuff right there. Like, that was hilarious. Did you see Eddie Hearn in the background with even Catterall was laughing about it?
Yep, I saw it.
That's all you could do, is just laugh about it. Is it time? So that brings this up. Last question we're going to ask you, Rick. And we want to thank you for hanging after time, sir. Is it time for Bob Arum to close up shop, to sell Top Rank Inc., and just enjoy the rest of his life without?
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying that, because he still makes deals every day. He was in Japan. He was in Australia. He was where, in Saudi Arabia on his trip. He gets around like a cat still, and his mind's all there. He was just heated. He was just heated. That's all.
I tell you what, guys. I will say this. Maybe this is why, and see if you agree with this, Rick, because I remember Don. I remember asking him the same thing. Don, why are you still doing it? You don't have to. And this is when he was 84, right before his death, right? And he said, well, look, my beloved Lorraine is gone. This is the only thing that keeps me young. This is what keeps me invigorated with life. Otherwise, I don't know what I would do without my beloved boxing. This is why he loved Golden Boy so much. Do you think Arum feels the same way?
Yes.
Rick,
Arum's been doing something for 58 years now. The other guy was doing it his whole life himself, Don Shargan. And, that's their thing. That's what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Rick, is that going to be you at age 85, brother?
Well, if I'm alive, it will be. If I'm alive, it will be. I won't be yelling in the ring. Don't get me wrong, because I don't yell in the ring now.
You're going to be yelling from ringside, brother.
No, that's not my thing. But will I be in boxing? Yeah, if I'm alive, I will be. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, Rick, you're going to outlive us all, my friend.
I don't know about that.
I'll tell you what, Rick, we're at the end of the line. One last question from my brother, Tony Manzano. And thank you, brother. God bless you, Tony. Thank you for supporting Rick and supporting the show, my friend. It really means a great deal to us. It says, Rick, where do you rank Esteban de Jesus in terms of the greatest fighters at 135 and 140? Rick, where do you rank? It's the same thing. Yes. Where do you rank Esteban de Jesus?
He's a top 25 fighter.
25.
Yep.
So who would be your best ever at 35? Who is your best at 140?
My best ever would be Duran. The second best would be Benny Leonard. Third best, Pernell Whitaker. And the list goes on and on. Chavez was in there.
Mosley was great at 35 also.
Mosley was great at 35. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot. It's a talent-laden division forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Chavez was the greatest ever at 30, other than Floyd.
I don't know. I don't know if Esteban de Jesus would have beaten Edwin Rosario.
Oh, Edwin Rosario.
Woo! So you're talking about some really good fighters in that list there.
Now let's go to 40, sir. Who is your best at 40?
I would say De La Hoya and Pryor.
What about Chavez Sr.?
Not at 40.
Kostya?
No, absolutely not.
Wow, absolutely not. Is he even in your top 5 at 40?
No.
Oh my gosh, King Kostya.
No, if you lose to Vince, if you get knocked out by Vince Phillips, and you quit on your stool, against Ricky Hatton. Come on now.
That was his last fight, brother.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's part of legacy.
You know what? Now we're starting to sound like those old guys at Coming to America in the barbershop. Rocky Marciano, Rocky Marciano. I tell you what, Rick, it's always a joy to meet with you every single week, brother. And especially today, man, I really needed this chat. So thank you, Rick. Thank you, brother, because I've got a very challenging day and challenging week ahead of me, guys.
I wish you best regards tomorrow in your situation, and hopefully you'll be all right for next Monday night. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me,
Rick. God bless you, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, brother. Oh boy, guys, and I wanted to chat with all of you guys because I'm a little nervous. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be going under the knife, guys. Once again, I'm going to be undergoing surgery to actually try to repair my hernia once again. And I'm hoping there are no complications. I'm getting this really strange feeling like, well, put it this way, I'm just getting a lot of nervous energy, and I'm a little concerned, a little nervous about this one for some strange reason. So, guys, if you could possibly keep me in your prayers, and just know that chatting with all of you guys for the last 3 years has been a real joy to me. And yeah, it's really meant a lot to me. And you guys, I consider all of you in the chat my extended family. And it's really just being a part of your life and allowing me to be a part of yours and being a part of mine. It's really meant a great deal to me, guys. So please keep me in your prayers. And hopefully I will be doing a show from my gurney in the hospital as early as Thursday or Friday, because I want to be able to watch my brother Andreas Katsarakis in the main event on DAZN from Houston, Texas. Ronnie Shields fighter. And I want to be rooting for Ronnie and Philip Hrgovic on Saturday from Saudi Arabia. So please keep me in your prayers, guys. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it, Sly. And thank you, Larry. And thank you, Danny. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, all of you guys. And once again, it's been a real honor to be able to chat with you guys every single week. And I always look forward to our conversations together. And God bless all of you guys. And yep, God be with you. And thank you. Yes, you guys will be with me. And thank you. And just remember this, guys. We're all just riding with the driver. And whatever you believe in, I'll tell you what I believe in. That the Holy Trinity and Jesus is the light of this world. Surrender your lives to Jesus, guys. Walk with him. Let him take the wheel. And great things will happen to you guys, okay? But I tell you what. So I'll be signing off. Hopefully I'll be signing back on later this week. I just can't express how much this channel and you guys have meant to me. And you guys have become a big part of my life. So I just want to thank you for all the kindness and all of the great conversation. And just seeing you guys pop up in the chat has meant a great deal to me. So hopefully I will be talking to you guys very soon. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful Memorial Day. And hopefully I'll be talking with you guys very soon. God bless all of you. And take care of yourselves. And stay close to Jesus. God bless.
'cause time means nothing. It's podcasts and playlists, our friends are the best, so it's time to overshare. We're on the road to New Mexico.
How you doing? You too can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser.